I think most humans on the planet, we're a lot better at giving than we are receiving most of the time, a lot of the time. This is why people charge not enough. This is why people give to their families and to their relationship, to their business, and they burn out from it, right? Because they're not filling up their own cup, right? And we have lots of excuses not to do that. We have lots of excuses not to take care of ourselves, go on the trip that we want to go on the, do the things that we want to do. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Some people could be scuba diving, some people it could be a trip, some people it could be, buying a special type of makeup, for themselves that they never thought they would, right? Whatever it is, whatever version of self-care and filling yourself up is, we as human beings, we have a hard time around that. Stemming generally from our parents, stemming generally from society. You gotta realize most people are 21, 22, 23 in this massive level of debt. And so, unfortunately, our society is set up in a little bit of a way right now where we almost start. We start kind of in a depleted place. We start in a depleted place. Oh, well, I gotta go work because I gotta pay the bills. Before you're 21 or 22, you don't have to do that. You just wake up and you're like, oh, well, what interests me? What do I want to do today? Right? And so we lose it. And so we end up, going through our 20s. Most of the time, not everybody, but going through our 20s. If you're lucky, entrepreneurialism is inside of your life, right? So, and that wakes up at some point in your 20s or 30s, right? But you have so many people that doing things they don't want to do, jobs they don't want to have, to be able to pay a debt that they barely even agreed to. And so for me in my life, it was really easy to give. I'm a very generous person by default, probably because of my grandfather. And he really taught that to me. He really taught generosity to me in a big way. And I don't come from a family that had like a lot of money, but it was always, both my father and my grandfather, always taught me generosity. But to receive, I'd make money and I'd, have this team doing that. I remember this was one of the biggest parts in 2019. I had this team and I had this business and it was like all this money into it. And I looked at how much money I was making versus how much the business was and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense at all. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that moment, right? They scale a business and now their business has become this machine and it's like they're working a job now again. Right? Or for me, it felt like I created my own prison in a way, right? It's like I had to wake up and less days were, what do I want to do today? More of the day was, well, I know what I got to do today. And so finally, when it finally happened, again, not an easy thing to accept. Oh, you know what? I can go and do what I want. I remember when I bought my dream car, my McLaren. I wanted a McLaren from the time I was probably 19 or 20. I used to play Grand Theft Auto, and that was my car in Grand Theft Auto, right? I was in Newfoundland, in a basement apartment, and the game was in California, in the mountains of California, and I'm living my life in the video game from when I was, 21, 22, when I was, $1 million in debt. Like, I'm living that version of my reality right now. And when I go out in the car and I'm driving around, I'm like, this is wild. This is wild. It took a lot for me. It wasn't a money thing. I could have bought a McLaren years ago. It wasn't about money. It was about me giving myself permission to enjoy and to receive. It was about me giving myself permission to fill myself up. Now, my abundance everywhere in my life went up when I bought that car. Right? That car paid itself off before it even came here. Right? It took a month to get here. It was paid for before I even thought about it. Right? It wasn't about the money. It was about me having the permission to receive. Me having the permission to say, I'm going to go on a solo trip by myself for a road trip for 3 days. I'm gonna get the nicest resort. I'm gonna get, this is just for me, right? It's not about work. I'm not going to get inspired or like, I don't need to justify why I want the thing. I just want it, so I'm gonna have it. And I think a lot of the time we have to justify why we want something. Justify, oh, I'm gonna go on the vacation. I'm gonna shoot some epic footage for social media. Well, listen, if you're there, you want to shoot some stuff for social media, go for it. But why justify, right? So justification stops our ability to fully receive, but it's what we do in order to be able to say, hey, let me receive. But here's the critical piece when it comes to business, particularly business, but also, having fun and having harmony. If you're not fully being kind of filled up, you can't give from from an empty chalice, right? You can't give from a place of emptiness. That's what, unfortunately, is what happens. You know, when I was $1 million in debt and I was on the way out of that, when I got a client, you know, they got results and they had it, but that was about money. That was, for me, that was, and I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Like, I can't sugarcoat that. And I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's wrong, right? Business is about being able to help other people and you get paid for that. But it wasn't from a place of, well, I'm trying to improve the world, or I'm trying to improve this thing, or I'm trying to help this or that or this. And you know, today I get to help coaches and mentors and authors and experts and all these different types of people, and from a place of pure support, all right? And so what is pure support? Pure support is when I'm helping them, when they come to me. It's the ability for me to truly, fully in my heart, be like, I can help them. The ripple effect of this is going to be massive. And this isn't directly about the money. Yes, yes, we always want to have a successful business and a profitable business, but the ability to fill yourself up, the ability to fully receive, the ability to have experiences that really light up you, allow you to come from a place where you can give. And until you're at that place, until you've paid off your debt, until you have money in the bank, until you've been able to take care of you and your family, your level of service, your level of support, your level of building a business is never going to be there, which is why when somebody comes to me, I'm like, what do you really want? Like, forget the impact thing. Like, I get you want to help people. I get it. What does the 9-year-old kid want? What do you really want? Is it a supercar? No? Okay. Is it this? You want to be able to take care of your family. Okay, what's the number? The next morning, once you hit that, you get to wake up and you get to ask yourself, for who I am, for what I want to do, how do I go and actually do it now? What do I really want to do today? And that's a level of power in your life. That gives you a level of empowerment and leadership in your life and responsibility to go and do literally anything. So the question shouldn't always be, well, how do I impact the world? The question should be, how do I impact myself? I learned this from Richard Branson when I was there. It blew my mind. How do I take care of me and my family first? Fill myself up. Because when you're so filled up, you overflow the goodness. You overflow the yumminess. And that's one of the most magnetic things in the world. Because when you're filled up, you have zero neediness. When someone's around you, they're like, wow, like they want to be around me. Wow, they want to work with me. Wow, they're present, they're here. And there's a road to get there. It takes time to get there. But that, in my opinion, is one of the greatest destinations we can really desire to be.